No, I'm right. Everything used to be cool, and now everything's stupid. This is another episode of the Flight Ringers podcast. I'm David King. That's Dan Spottswood.
It's good to be here. Thank you.
We are professional cartoonists, and we are Legion of Superheroes experts.
You know what I didn't get to the bottom of, maybe you did, is why isn't Giffen on this one?
I don't know. I didn't look into that at all. It's weird. He didn't do anything except for those 4 pages.
Well, he got a writing credit, but I don't know if that is only for the pages he did or...
That's kind of what I took.
I don't know. I mean, it does sort of feel ambush bug heckler-ish.
Yeah, I think it's not him. I haven't read the next one yet, or the next Matter Eater Lad one. I haven't read it in a long time.
I remember that one being funnier, but it's also been a while for me, too.
I remember it being less funny, but
okay.
I think one way or the other, there is a difference in the just the way it's delivered. And I think this one is more Tom Bierbaum humor, and then the other one is more driven by Giffen. And this one doesn't even have the Giffen layouts, you know?
Yeah, and the It's Okay, I'm a Senator, I think he says it was kind of his idea to make the character funny. Of course, he probably says everything is his idea.
Glory hog.
He says he based the character on his interpretation of the character on an episode of Dragnet. There was some guy, some actor. Okay, he's like a comic book nerd in the story. I can't remember the story, and he dresses up as a superhero and he steals comic related memorabilia.
I'd like to see that one. I haven't seen all the Dragnet 67 episodes.
What?
I'm more of an Adam 12 guy. Have you seen them all?
I feel like I have. I can't swear to that. All right, you ready to do this? I'm excited about next time, even though that's 4 weeks away. And in our case, 6 or 7. The annual is next.
Oh, the annual.
The Ultra Boy, Glorith.
Oh, yeah. I'd have to read it. Is that part of why they have the Ultra Boy solo backup stories thing in the next couple issues? Is it have anything to do with that annual?
I think so. I think they're tied together. I think this issue continues into the annual, doesn't it? Maybe not.
I don't think it does. I feel like the annual is its own thing.
It's all flashback. I know some of the lines in here I read somewhere and immediately forgot. But some of the lines here, when they're traveling, they show him going through time and he's hearing voices. A lot of them are from old Adventure Comics issues and such, but a few of them are from future issues.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this stuff.
Maybe the annual, or maybe those backups you're talking about, maybe both.
Yeah. I was reading, what did I read? It was just some fan stuff. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, it's on the Flight Ringers Twitter account. I followed this guy who, actually I follow 2 different Twitter accounts, and I don't know if it's the same person or not. But every Friday he posts a page from a Legion comic. This is one guy. And then another account, I think, posts every day, just a page out of a Legion comic. Mm-hmm. And then there's some comments from the Peanut Gallery. And one of those accounts posted a page from the Ultra Boy, time travel odyssey that kind of starts in this issue. Uh-huh. And it was that Michael Grayboy guy, who a longtime Legion fan, and he does that Omnicom Adventure247.blogspot website. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And he was like, I never really liked that Ultra Boy backup thing because it just seemed kind of pointless. And I guess the way I took it is that when you think about the trajectory of this comic, it's all just one kind of there's a lot of subplots going on, but it's everything is sort of entwined a little bit plot wise. Mm-hmm. But then you get to that Ultra Boy thing where all that happens is he gets sent back in time by Roxas. He stays there and has an adventure, and then he comes back again, and it's not really connected to anything.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they make it seem like he stays there quite a while. I don't know if it is years, but maybe even a year, because I think he gets to the point he sort of get used to living there, and he's kind of over Phantom Girl, and then he falls in love with some other girl.
Yeah, he has a girlfriend and everything. And he learns the language of whatever ancient, like caveman language, or I guess
right. And then
he's in ancient Egypt or
she's
something.
either killed or turns out to be some conjuring or something like that.
Yeah, and it didn't really develop Ultra Boy too much, and it was just like an excuse to have him be in like a ancient days time travel adventure.
Just rake him over the coals some more. And some pathos.
I kind of liked it, but yeah, like thinking about it in that way, like it doesn't add up to very much. And even the pathos stuff isn't that great, but just, makes him more sad, I guess. But then just tonight when I'm like, oh, well, maybe that has something to do with the annual, or maybe there's some kind of synchronicity or something between those backups that's in 3 or 4 issues, I think. And then
I feel like the annual is more worthy than that. Like it is, a lot of it is retellings, sort of like that Laurel Gand issue. But there's kind of a plot, like he's trying to trick Glorith, isn't he? Like into thinking he's dumber than he is, or he's kind of onto her.
He's schemes. The one Legionnaire who realizes that Glorith is the time trapper, or that there is a time trapper and it's Glorith. And she's doing such and such machinations to control the Legion of Superheroes team.
That reminds me, I keep forgetting to look this up to make sure it's true. This guy I work with, who's a comic book nerd, but a little bit comic gatey, so I don't trust everything he says. But he said, like in that Doomsday Clock, Jeff Johns shit, you might already know this, like they try to explain why Superman never gets old. Like, sort of like his rocket lands a year later every year that goes by. You know what I'm saying? Like time is sort of being rebooted over and over again so that he remains 35 or whatever he is.
Oh, okay.
He just lands on Earth a little bit later every year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Like every year, when we imagine back to his origins, it was a year later than it.
Right. Like, so, you know, like his rocket landed in like 1915 or 1918 when Action Comics 1 came out.
Right.
But then, you know what I mean? Like it keeps moving up. Well, there's some kind of explanation for that involves like Dr. Manhattan or some stupid shit like that. But apparently the underlying reason for it is Superman or Superboy. It's like his destiny to be in the Legion of Superheroes. So as time is moving, he's being moved up slowly to the 31st century.
Oh, so that eventually he'll be born in 2965, so he can be grown up in the 3000 or whatever.
Right.
Well, okay. Sometimes maybe I want to read that Doomsday Clock shit. I've never read Watchmen.
I don't know how much it has to do with it. I wasn't going to read it. I was just going to read the Wikipedia.
I mean, I feel like Saturn Girl is a big character in that, maybe.
I mean, I think it sort of fits if he thought of something like that, because there is Superboy does seem completely integral. Like even in this stuff, his absence is creating all these problems, and all the manipulations they're doing are to compensate for his absence. Like he is like a critical piece of this future, even if guys like you don't think so.
Yeah, man, I don't think you need him that much. I mean, like they killed him, and life went on just fine. You know, back in issue 38.
I still don't get why they killed him.
Yeah,
I don't get it. Like, you figured out how John Byrne's Superman was never Superboy, so why can't you just keep him? And if you're that worried about diluting the brand, have him ditch the costume or call himself something else.
Well, see, both of these things gets into shit about like comic book story meanings and messages, and then editorial activity. You know what I mean? The Jeff Johns thing you were just saying is like, you know, the reason his Superboy's birthday gets changed all the time is so that he can eventually be born in the year 3000, be a member of the Legion of Superheroes. That's like, it's simultaneously a story, but it's also a writer trying to devise editorially why these changes happen.
Right.
And that's the same thing that happened when they killed Superboy. It's like, you and I don't really see a reason why he needed to actually die in that comic book. Like, there's not a good reason for it in the story. It's not even very dramatic when it does happen. But the reason he needed to die is because the boss decided he needed to die. You know? So it's like, it is a really strange like to me it's strange that there's like the driver of our art form is like corporate bullshit in ways, you know?
Yeah.
And it's all part of the story, you know what I mean? It's like as if Mort Weisinger and Paul Levitz and John Byrne are as big of a character as fucking Superboy when it comes to these comic books.
Well, obviously the real world is constantly having a knock-on effect on fiction.
Yeah, but like in these stories, like it's a thing that doesn't happen in a Stephen King book. You know what I mean? Where like, oh, he had fucking Pennywise do this or that because, well, he wrote that because he needed to get some sleep that day. And his editor said that Pennywise wouldn't be that type of character, so he changed it to this or that. You know, it's like, no, he just did what he wanted. What was best for the book he was writing. But in the Death of Superboy comic book, well, it didn't really need to be the death of Superboy. It could have been whatever, some other monumental type of sacrifice for Superboy, but he didn't actually have to die, and it didn't make it more dramatic that he died, I don't think. So to me it's odd that the reality of the behind the scenes shit is so intertwined with what we read and think about when we are thinking about what happens in the comic and the stories of the comic. Like, it's not just a story of the comic, it's the story of who pissed off John Byrne that month,
right?
You know,
right. So, are you saying that's a bad thing, or something that makes it more interesting? Or
I think it does make it more interesting, but it also makes it incoherent to people who aren't experts.
Right, because you have to know the backstory, the behind the scenes.
It makes it seem like a bad comic when you're like, wait a minute, what's the deal with Superboy? Why did he die? He got electrocuted because what was he doing? And it's like, how come he didn't just, he's Superboy, how come he didn't just save everybody and whatever, you know, like maybe he has some hard sacrifice to make, but he saves everybody. That's what you would expect from a monthly comic that stars Superboy. But no, in this one, he actually just gets killed. And there isn't a really good reason. Like, there isn't a compelling reason as you read it, you know?
Right. I feel like this is really commonplace in TV, though. Like, why would Barney leave Andy? They're like best friends. And there's so many times where they almost, one leaves town, but they always like, no, we can't do this. They end up back together. Don Knotts leaves the show. He just leaves.
Yeah.
Because he has to, because the actor's not there anymore.
Right. I mean, on TV, that's maybe even, I don't know.
Why would Andy Taylor and Opie leave old Aunt B by herself in Mayberry?
On TV, to me, it makes a little more sense because I don't know why.
Yeah,
just because they're
actors and they age and they die, and
yeah, they're real humans. Like, I guess there's not an earthly reason, unless it's a really, really good one, to kill off Superboy because he's a cartoon character,
right? But
they made that decision. Like, it's not a really great death scene. You know what I mean? Like, just drama-wise, when Superboy dies, it's not that great. It's just okay. And it's like, it doesn't totally compute once you start trying to figure out, you know, and it's like the time trapper doesn't even kill him. Something else kills him. It's like a big battle with the time trapper, and it's not even the time trapper who deals the fatal blow against Superboy or something like that. It's some other oddball thing. I lost my train of thought.
He has some kind of Spock-like death, right? Like, he has to become like the conductor for all that energy.
Yeah, exactly.
That maybe was going to destroy the universe somehow.
Right. It just seemed like an afterthought.
Well, and then it's like, this is the guy who, at least up to that point, was the influence for them becoming a team in the first place. And then, oh, he's dead. There's no, like, let's go take him to, like, the lightning planet and see if we've got to figure something out. You know, we got to bring him back. They're like, oh, well.
Yeah, like, oh, let's get another miracle machine or something. Let's bring this guy back.
Do you know, is there any good, like, kind of Mobius overview books? I've read plenty of his stuff here and there, but they're kind of like I don't know, like they'll have those crumb books that kind of have the greatest hits.
Oh, I can't think of one. You'd think there would be, but like they're mostly like long stories, and they're all kind of like they got that Inkall stuff. There must be like a short stories one, but it's probably only been in the Epic reprints that are like $100 now or something for like a magazine.
Yeah, all those out of print Epic ones are all I can think of.
But that would be That's the best bet. Like there's got to be a book that has like, oh, that, what's it called, The Long Tomorrow or something from Heavy Metal, where the guy's fucking a monster for a second, and just shit like that.
Yeah, I have like a couple like old like collection, like heavy metal collections, I think.
Yeah, there's definitely a heavy metal, like all Mobius heavy metal book.
I think they're the ones I have are all black and white too. I don't know if they were in the magazine or not, but it's nice in black and white.
Yeah. Why are you asking? You're trying to get into Mobius now?
More into Mobius, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know very much about him when I got to thinking about it.
I have this book.
Oh, yeah.
You have that?
I don't have that. That's one of the few that are actually in print.
Yeah, it's new. It's like the first one of like Dark
There's
Horse
3 of them, I think.
Logos.
And the third one, I don't know. Is that one mostly comics? The third one looks like it's kind of like it shows a lot of original art. It almost seems like extras.
This is all one story, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can, I don't know if you can see the little separations there. You know, like each one of those is a whatever album's length of comics.
Yeah,
there's like 5 of them in there.
So is it shrunk down a little, or it doesn't look as big as I would have expected? Maybe it is big.
It's about a magazine size.
Yeah, that's about right.
It was a good comic, and I mean the artwork is great.
Mm-hmm.
I was just thinking, like, since I took all these books off the shelves and put them back on again, I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, which one of these could I get rid of? I'm like, could I get rid of that Mobius book?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'll send it your way one of these days.
Welcome back to Flight Ringers. We return to the year 2994, the next chapter in the 5 years later saga.
Wait, it's got to be 2995, right?
Yeah, we may need to refer to the source book on that.
I guess it started in 1989, and it was 5 years later. So it's you're right. We're at 2994, I think. Even though this one says September 90 on the cover.
Right. It was actually published July 17th of 1990. And we have our usual gang of idiots: Giffen, Tom and Mary Bierbaum, Al Gordon, Tom McGraw. And we have Craig Brasfield. It's another fill-in. This is like the 3rd out of the last 4 issues. Mm-hmm. I mean, Giffen is still involved. He draws a few pages, mainly just ones that keep the plot plates spinning. Not big revelations or anything. So I'm not exactly sure why he was. Maybe this was still during the period where he kind of left the book a couple times, like fighting with editors.
It's kind of weird. Like the stuff he does is totally continuation of the last of the previous issue 10 that he did the whole thing. I as I recall, but it's good, kind of treading water from the Giffen pages in this. Just treading water from the previous issue, and a majority of it is this Matter Your Lad story. So
this is like the first significant appearance of him since he'd been basically phased out of the book because he was deemed too silly early on in the Bronze Age. He showed up a couple of times. Most notably, he ate the Miracle Machine, the stupid, basically Aladdin's lamp they had in the basement that sort of made any of their struggles over the 10, 12 years that they had it kind of ridiculous because they could just bring Invisible Kid back to life or wish the Fatal Five away. But,
right, they needn't have had any struggles when they possessed the Miracle Machine.
And notably, when he ate the machine, it drove him insane, at least temporarily, and till Brainiac 5 supposedly cured him. And let's see, I don't know, is that early 80s? Early pre-Levitz 80s. And from that point on, we only really see him...
Yeah, what finally makes him leave the team?
Well, he's drafted.
When did he leave the team? And was that a Levitz comic? Did Levitz write a story or an addendum type of epilogue story where Matter Your Lad leaves the team? Because he eats a Miracle Machine, loses his mind, he gets cured, but then at some point, they announce it or make an issue with that he's leaving the Legion to go back to his home planet to be he's been drafted into the government.
I think it's the other way around. I think he was drafted early on in the 70s, around the time they were writing out the characters they deemed too ridiculous, like Triplicate Girl and Bouncing Boy. I think somewhere around that time, I think he was drafted. And then he came back for that Miracle Machine story.
Oh,
where he was driven insane. I don't know. We might have even covered the issue.
We didn't cover the one where he eats the machine.
No, the one where he's drafted.
Oh, like maybe that's an action issue?
I think it was like a Mike Grill.
Well, okay, so he comes back, he eats the Miracle Machine, loses his mind, gets cured, and then we just assume that he goes back to being a senator or whatever. But maybe they never had a story that was explicit. It's just like that's what happens to him.
Where he returns home.
Yeah, and that's just where he's been. He wasn't a member of the team in the Baxter Paper series.
No.
Yeah, I don't think he had any adventures in the Giffen and Levitz kind of era. But yeah, maybe he hasn't really had a speaking role before this issue and maybe like a couple of panels in somewhere in 5 years later. Prior to that, he didn't do anything since fucking 1981 or something, huh?
Yeah, like his last significant appearance after eating the Miracle Machine was when Brainiac 5 came and pulled him out of the sanitarium. That's the Carmen Infantino issue. And then for all of the 80s, the only time he appears is in the Substitute special.
Right, I forgot that.
That one, as you've maybe pointed out before, he plays kind of the straight man to the story. But it is my theory, and I feel like I didn't come up with this entirely myself. I've read other interpretations of this or other things suggesting this is the idea. Like, he was changed by that. Like, Brainiac 5 was able to restore his sanity mostly, but he's a little bit zanier than he was before. Now, I don't know how that explains the sub issue. Maybe that happened before. Maybe he was on some medication that day.
The business in issue 11 is totally a personality retcon.
Right.
Any way you slice it. Because
right.
he didn't get enough screen time to be zany at all, except for the Substitutes issue where he was not that way. So,
right.
Yeah, so you said Bierbaum made the decision to make him a comedic character, right?
Right. According to Bierbaum. Maybe Giffen would say different, but...
Giffen isn't saying anything now.
Oh, shit. This is also... Though it's only featured on the cover, he's wearing the glasses there, which basically become part of his uniform moving forward. I think it might take a couple issues to take, like maybe he doesn't wear them very much the next time, but it quickly just becomes his look, and he's never seen without them.
On this cover, I kind of like the way they look. They eventually become like, at first they look like, like the glasses that old people wear that goes over their regular glasses. Yes. They look kind of like those. And then in like Legionnaires, it's just like Ray-Bans that he's wearing, which I never really thought that was too cool.
I think like the Eneman issues, he has, like the cyclist glasses or whatever, where it's just one piece.
Yeah, like Oakley Blades almost or something.
Yeah.
I got Legionnaires #1 here in my hand. I'm going to see if I can find it.
Did he have more like traditional glasses?
Yeah, they're like regular old 20th century sunglasses. And like this lady's wearing them too.
Oh, yeah.
Here he is. They've got to have a close-up of him where he talks. Maybe not. But you can't really see him on the cover. That's why I was flipping through. But they really are just like regular modern day sunglasses that he's.
They might have been trying to differentiate the two versions of the character. Since there's the older one running around. The other thing about the zaniness is it could be like it's an intermittent thing. Like he has sober moments.
Oh yeah.
Sort of goes in between the two. There's another possibility, and that is that this is all an act because he has been drafted to be a senator, and maybe that's how this started out. Like maybe it was they were saying they initially were writing it like he was feigning this craziness to get out of being a senator because he doesn't want to be a senator. He wants to be a legionnaire, and I think the impression I get reading this issue is. He's trying to be like the worst senator imaginable. Like he's doing stupid TV shows. He's not keeping up with his duties, but it somehow like backfired on him and made him more popular. Like he has these popular TV shows and he's like, look at me, I'm an idiot. You guys need to throw me out so I can go back to the Legion. But they love him more for it.
I think that's an angle they kind of forget. I mean, once it actually comes to pass, I don't know if it happens in this issue or the next kind of Matter Eater Lad Spotlight issue where, he like hands over the reins to Calorie Queen. Calorie Queen, who is she has the same powers of Matter Eater Lad, but also super strength and smarter, I guess. But yeah, like there's a scene where he hands over everything to her and he splits to go back to being a Legionnaire. That's either in this one or in 13.
Right.
But yeah, like that's kind of an interesting angle. Like they almost needed to have done that for a little while longer, where he's trying to be a disgraceful senator to comedic effect, and it backfires on him repeatedly. Like that's kind of a funny like sitcom kind of setup.
Right. And also, this kind of goes with that. There's the impression in here that they're sort of suggesting this, that he is he's part of the secret reforming Legion already to some extent. Like he has contact with the faction on Wynneth. He needs to get to Earth. He's not allowed to go to Earth under normal circumstances. So he's using the TV show as an excuse to go to Earth to, I guess, save Brick, or what do you think?
What'd you say? To save Rick?
I said Brick. I meant Brack.
Oh, Brick.
Brick.
I was like,
we'll get it eventually.
You mean Rock? No, you mean Brick. Yeah, Polar Boy. See, that's why I don't like to use their fucking real names.
Block's real name should have been Brick. Brick Boulder.
Or that should have been his last name. Block Brick. Yeah, I guess ostensibly he's going to go to Earth, I guess, to free Polar Boy, and then they're going to go meet up with the rest of the Legionnaires.
Right.
I guess that's maybe what the whole deal is. And yeah, he's using the TV show Wild Archaeology to get his visa or whatever to go to Earth. Because even though it's a fascist dictatorship on Earth, anybody can, if you're making a TV show, come on in. That's kind of how it works.
So this first page is just sort of a mock like intro to his television show, Mutual of Obsidian's Wild Archaeology, which is like Mutual of Omaha's Wild America.
Wild Kingdom.
Is it Wild Kingdom and not Wild America, or did it change to Wild America?
Wild America is a PBS show. It's much more
with
legit.
Marty Stauffer.
Yes, Marty Stauffer.
That's right. Like, it doesn't seem that weird or stupid now, because there's TV shows like this all the time, but something that's ostensibly a documentary, but it's really like a stupid reality TV show kind of setup. And
let's watch this puma run really fast, and they put it in slow motion. That's about all there was to it.
Right.
That was Mutual of Omaha, Wild Kingdom.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And there was also In Search Of.
That's Leonard Nimoy, right?
Yeah. They kind of evoke In Search Of in this, because there's a mummy, and like just the way he talks to the screen is like that, like, could this be the real history, or blah blah blah,
right?
When it's
something sort of portrayed here as sort of an Indiana Jones type character swinging on a vine. He's got his secretary, I assume, is that Calorie Queen, hanging on his leg like he's Luke Skywalker. I
guess this is more like a commercial for Wild Archaeology.
I thought it was the intro.
Oh, that could be it too.
Because they do it again. They're, like, once the show is changed, there's another like kind of intro page.
Yeah, they redraw it later.
We moved to the first of Giffen's. He has like 6 of these sort of interludes that are mainly just here to remind us of the plot that is not being really addressed in this issue. And they sort of play on each other a little bit. Like, this one only exists to tell us which Legionnaires were badly hurt in the last battle, who may or may not be dead.
Actually, you know what this is? It's supposed to be like we're watching TV. Like, this is the intro, and there's a commercial break where they have a news update.
Oh, right.
And then we go back to the TV show again. But because it's a different style, I think maybe I didn't quite catch this.
Yeah,
right off the bat.
It's too bad they hadn't coordinated better, because it has rounded panels, and the other ones don't. Well,
yeah, and it has the Omnicom border around it too. That this doesn't have. I don't know. Yeah, they needed to have nailed it down a little bit.
So basically, it just recaps that Roxas attacked Gwyneth and badly injured or possibly killed several members, including Mectrans and Chameleon Boy.
Yeah, the ones that we think are dead are Ultra Boy and Chameleon Boy. They're probably dead.
Devlin, which is a joke. It's listed as allergic reaction.
Yeah, he got stung by bees. One neat thing I liked about this page is it shows the inside of those science police people's mask, and it looks all padded. It looks like there's a pillow that fits right up against your face when you close this visor down.
Wonder if they have to change that out.
Like it gets all snotty.
It's all wet.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yuck. So then we resume the show, the proper episode, I believe. And Tinzel and his team are excavating the Batcave, which seems like a pretty clever idea, I guess, except this already kind of happened back in the Adventure Comics days. Like the Legion had to hide out in the Batcave when Universo was chasing after them. And Matter-Eater Lad was one of the characters, so I don't know if this is something that was changed from the reboot, or if perhaps it collapsed during some war in the intervening years.
I think maybe you're just not supposed to think about it too hard, probably.
Right.
But
right.
Yeah, I always thought it was funny. I remember reading this issue as a teenager, and I thought this was a super funny comic first few times. Reading it, this week, it's less funny, but it's a solid, like as far as funny superhero comics go. Yeah, you could do way worse than this. But yeah, right. the bit where they're digging up shit in the Batcave, and he's like, the giant penny is a Abraham Lincoln,
a manhole cover for gigantic Bismolian presidents who look like American presidents.
And then there's the Joker card is
Dan Quayle. A Dan Quayle doormat.
Doormat, that's right. Oh yeah, here's kind of the in search of kind of tone. He says the Titan presidents of Bismol, myth, legend, hoax, or something else. Perhaps provable fact. Like he kind of nails that type of delivery of those kinds of shows, and it helps the humor that he can. I'm talking about Tom Bierbaum, who I think is the writer of this dialogue.
Right.
It helps it a lot to have that tone just right. Like, I don't know if you do this anymore. Like, I mean, I watched that show Oak Island, or Curse of Oak Island, where they're digging up, trying to find the treasure up there in Oak Island, and they have this kind of narrator guy who shows up, or he doesn't show up. He's off screen, but like between, they'll switch from this location of the island where they're searching for treasure to another location, and they'll have a discovery, and the narrator is like a gold button found in the dig site on lot 5.
Right.
Like he says that all the time, and it's like this is about the closest to that we have today to the kind of delivery, the kind of melodramatic, overwrought type of delivery that a spooky type of investigation show documentary had in the 80s and 70s.
Not to fall into sort of the cliche, like about how ahead of its time this particular comic is, but there is a lot of, like, he's a politician doing a dumb TV show. We have the age of Trump, and the Ukrainian president was like a TV. Oh, he played a president on TV before they just elected him as the real president.
Yeah.
And I don't know that we've quite gotten to the point where like a senator who's currently in the Senate has a dumb show like this, but I don't feel like we're far off from it. You could very conceivably, you could see that happening.
Yeah, definitely topical kind of commentary on the way politicians become celebrities and things like that.
In a weird, like, this wouldn't fly today, this idea, because if you were to read this just coming out now, you'd say he'd never lose his job doing this. He'd become more popular, which I guess he is becoming here, but there would be no irony to it.
Right. Yeah. Too ridiculous.
So then we get to see them off camera for the first time, Tinzel and Calorie Queen. We see that he's sort of behind on his actual duties. He's clearly bored and disinterested in it. And this is where we get the inkling that his real plan was just to get to Earth.
Yeah, they they begin to unveil his real motivation, right?
It's then and then we also see that his show is canceled and replaced with sort of a kind of a courtroom drama, Perry Mason-ish.
Yeah, but like a reality Perry Mason. It's like People's Court, only we're going to follow one of the lawyers instead of the judge as the star.
Right. Now, he does say at the end, I guess I should find myself a case. But it seems like he probably went to Earth deliberately to free Polar Boy, right?
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, I don't think that's how TV works. Maybe it is. Maybe back in the 80s, that's how it worked. Is like your time slot, your show in that time slot is over. We're giving you a new show to be on. Maybe that's how it works on Dismal. We're just changing the format of your current show.
Right.
I guess they kind of do that.
Well, it says he got word from the Winnethan contingent, which is, Rock and the other characters. It says encoded no update on the situation there, but they have approved Operation Popsicle.
Oh, that implies Polar Boy, doesn't it?
Right. That is his mission. So I guess maybe he's being sarcastic in the last panel. I wonder who I should cover.
I don't know how he knew he was going to be doing a courtroom show.
Maybe he just had to change his plan. Originally, he was going to use his archaeology show to get closer. Maybe they were going to dig near the penitentiary or wherever he's being kept. But now he's like, I've got to cover him in court. That's how I'm going to get to him.
Yeah, it was going to be like that Tex Avery cartoon where the guy tunnels his way out of jail and he gets in the TV set. That one, but the reverse of that maybe.
Right.
This page is when I first noticed how shitty the reproduction is. And the coloring is terrible here. A lot of the line work is just dropped out completely, I think. I don't think Craig Brasfield drew it so that his face is kind of gone and her face is kind of gone. But then there's stuff down here the
fingers are missing in mine, that first panel.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's this one where they've kind of colored outside the lines. He's throwing his pen. He's eating his pen like a piece of popcorn or something.
Right.
And the coloration of his hand is different than the line work of his hand for some reason. Yeah. It's kind of weird. But yeah, it looks bad overall. I'm feeling like Craig Brasfield is doing a pretty decent art job, but there's something about the reproduction here that is plowing over his artwork. Yeah,
on the panel where he's got his feet up on the desk, that they've just have a solid blue going from the very top to the very bottom instead of showing part of the floor or something is kind of confusing. Maybe they didn't ink a line.
Yeah, or something. And it looks like he's wearing a t-shirt, but it's all colored the same as his skin. And there's something around his neck in the last panel.
Yeah, there's something strange going on with his shorts, right? Is he wearing identical green shorts?
Yeah, it's like they can't decide whether he's wearing a coat that goes down to mid-thigh, or if he has, superhero shorts over his pants, or what. Yeah, pretty weird.
Yeah. Another Giffen interlude, just showing another what a scary bastard Roxas is. He's forcing someone to fix him up, a doctor.
Yeah, but a real lazy Xerox.
Right.
And I've seen people criticize Giffen for doing sort of some misogynist type of stuff in his comics sometimes. And I feel like maybe this is maybe an example of that, where the panel that he chooses to repeat 2, 4, 7 times is the nurse tied up and all bloody and probably dead. And then in the background, people are talking about that.
Yikes.
Yeah, a little grody. They do eventually reveal that the doctor that Roxas is talking to and this nurse were murdered.
Yeah, a few of these sort of have a setup and a punchline. So we'll kind of come back to this. And this next page with Brainiac 5 is sort of like the punchline to the first Giffen interlude, where that one establishes the question, what happened to these 5 or 6 characters. This one tells us what became of them, what their ultimate prognoses were.
And it turns out none of them are going to die.
Well, at least here, it looks like at least Celeste will.
Oh, yeah, he thinks Rockfish is going to die. He says she will not live.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, this page is kind of dark comedy, the one with the repeating dead nurse.
Mm-hmm.
And just the way you just explained it as setup and punchline is like, I remember saying that issue 10 was it's kind of a comedy issue, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
It's all kind of gagged out type of comic, a lot of jokes and stuff, even though like the whole premise of it is that Roxas is infiltrating the place where the Legionnaires are staying, and he's going to kill them all.
Mm-hmm.
It's light and jokey. Maybe not light. It's jokey for sure. And this kind of continues on it. I feel like the gravity that they had a good momentum of like a serious kind of sci-fi comic. I think after the some kind of editorial trials and travails and some fill-in issues, they've kind of lost that. Giffen is just kind of doing it a little goofier now.
It could be. I noticed a few people complaining about this in reviews and comment sections and such, that they didn't like the way, like, half of this is silly and then there's kind of like scary, serious moments interspersed in there, and they felt like it messed with the tone. I kind of like that it flips back and forth, but then maybe it creates confusion on a page like the nurse page, where I guess you're supposed to be, I think it's meant more to be disturbing than silly. But when you're reading silly for 3 or 4 pages and he switches to this, like, maybe you view it in as some poor taste comedy, maybe. I mean, I think it's in poor taste either way, but I don't know if he's playing this as a joke here.
I just felt like a lot of the dialogue was kind of quippy, and maybe that's Bierbaum, where the doctor's like, Roxas, you're losing a lot of blood, and Roxas is like, well, put it back, and stuff like that. It's like, this is kind of a joke,
right?
A joke that ends with the doctor being murdered. It's right. It's sort of that kind of humor in a way.
It's also probably building up the mystery, like, what's he going to look like when we next see him? Is this where he becomes kind of Two-Face, or is that later?
I think it's later, because I don't think anything happened to his face in the last issue. I can't remember, though. Somebody did beat the shit out of him.
The other thing I'd say about the Brainiac 5 page, where he's assessing everybody, it sort of implies that maybe he knows Bounty is Dawnstar. But if Roxas could figure that out, surely Brainiac 5 could. But he is the universe's smartest idiot, so who knows?
Well, no one else could. That's what's weird. Like Roxas and Brainiac 5, no. Brainiac 5 doesn't tell anybody for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty weird. I guess, Brainiac 5 is just playing it close to the vest.
Yeah. Well, it's a weird thing, because from a reader's perspective, the way these characters are drawn, particularly the women, you change their costume, maybe their hair color, they essentially are a different character. Because they're all drawn with more or less the same build, the same face. So you take the wings off Dawnstar and take her out of her leather costume. Would you recognize her?
I guess not. I guess these people who worked with her for 20 years wouldn't recognize her.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, he says, what's your game? What are you up to? He's saying that in his head to Bounty.
Well, Bounty's some kind of parasite or something, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Maybe it's somehow telepathically confusing people. I don't know. Clouding their...
That's a good idea. Good good thought.
Give me a no prize. So then we see Tinzel has met up with Siobhan Aaron and the science police to try to look into Brick's case. Is it Brack?
Breck.
It's not like Brack in Cartoon Planet. Breck's case. It's a little, it's strange, because in this, I thought we sort of got this scene in the first issue, and it was much more dramatic. And he had more of his attire that he'd worn since becoming the leader of the team. I don't think he was wearing his helmet, but he wasn't wearing his silly original costume. And he was fighting. Do you remember that?
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember. I know they showed him in jail getting his mail.
It was the first issue, and I think it's like the second page, and they're flipping channels, and they show footage of him like fighting, I think, science police, but it's much more dramatic. And Giffen drew it, of course. Here, since it's played more for laughs, he's wearing his original costume here, and he's trying to cause an uprising in a Burger King. I guess maybe they were different moments, not the same moment.
All I remember from the first issue is that he's they show him in jail, and then they somewhere along the line they present us his like resignation letter, or the letter he sends to the president saying he's disbanding the Legion. And then this kind of, to me, seems like it takes place after he's disbanded the Legion and he's just this lost soul, and he's in a fast food place just trying to get anybody to join him and rise up against the government or something.
Right. It's kind of interesting, an interesting use of the telepathic earplugs in here, where they're having sort of a fake conversation where they're saying what they think they should be saying to stay out of trouble, but they're having the real conversation simultaneously.
Yeah, they know that they're being watched by the somebody else. I don't know if Matter Eater Lad knows it's the Dominators. I think that Officer Aaron does know. She's still sympathetic and kind of working from the inside to help some resistance type people against the government of Earth, the corrupt government of Earth. Oh, so that panel in the bottom tier is, what is that, a flashback?
I think it's supposed to be old footage that they're watching.
Yeah, like on the...
while they're interviewing Sunboy. So it might not necessarily be from his arrest.
Yeah, and that's kind of the original costume. But then the one in the middle tier, he's wearing kind of a turtleneck, kind of civvies.
Yeah, so maybe they're showing different footage.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But yeah, I get what they're trying to imply is that he's just a washed up loser at this point, totally on the downslide. Without a Legion superheroes, he's not good for anything really, and easy to arrest.
Poor guy.
Officer Aaron points a Matter Eater Lad towards his competition lawyer on the show to actually help him, because she is fair and honest.
So we see that they're of course being watched by
Circe and the Dominators, huh? Yeah, this page was kind of broad and silly.
Yeah,
where the bad guys are kind of arguing with each other,
and it's, I don't know, it's a little Keystone Cop stupid. Like, obviously telepathic earplugs are like common in this time, and the police at least would have access or knowledge of them, and you would think they'd be looking out for something that obvious, like monitoring them.
Yeah, surely they have that technology, don't they?
As far as I know, like Bart Sears never drew these characters, right? Did he? Maybe Polar Boy or someone showed up in Armageddon 2001 or something, but this cop character, she seems like the kind of character he drew a lot of in like Justice League Europe. Tough, broad.
Yeah, that's kind of a
bit butch.
Kind of a Giffen trope too, almost, right?
Yeah, maybe that's the common denominator.
Yeah, definitely. So anyway, yeah, now we cut over to Matter Eater Lad meeting Polar Boy in prison.
Now, is this the first we see of the frozen hair?
No, he had frozen hair back in I remember Steve Lytle drawing him with that, maybe on one of the covers of Baxter. So I think it might be a Giffen creation.
Because I remember, of course, he was wearing that helmet through most of the Baxter era. But I think a couple times when he had it off, he had blondish hair.
Yeah, I think when Lytle first started drawing him, or maybe LaRock was drawing him with blonde hair, but then, pretty rapidly when Giffen started back on the Baxter, he had the chunky spiky ice hair.
Yeah, and that's become as much a trademark to him as the glasses to Matter Eater Lad. Like every version of him since, he never wears a hat anymore. So he's got to be sporting the spiky icy hair.
Yeah, the hat with the fuzzy thing around it. I mean, that's kind of neat, but it is silly.
Yeah. And the other one, I guess, looked more serious, but it never totally made sense. It kind of made him look like a robot or something. The shiny silver helmet with the point, the Ming helmet.
Oh, yeah. That looks cool. Now that you mention it, I think that looks pretty neat.
Yeah, but what is it? Like, what function does it have? How does it fit into his...
Oh, I don't know. I mean, Chameleon Boy had one like that. Shadowlass had that for a little while. The skull cap with the widow's peak or whatever on it.
Right. I guess it's true. But his seemed more helmet-like to me, maybe because it was shiny.
Yeah, I think the shininess
silver
makes it seem like, he has like a metal helmet.
Seems like a bad idea to have like some sort of metal thing with a sharp point on your forehead.
Not the brightest guy, I guess.
I guess not. Oh, so obviously, Polar Boy thinks this is a horrible idea because Matter Eater Lad is not qualified to defend him in any way and probably knows he's crazy. But Tinzel rightly points out that it'll be on television, which means it will be harder for the government to screw him over. It'll be too obvious. So it's sort of been wanting to do his questioning on live TV, not behind closed doors.
Oh yeah, it's a good method. He can't be railroaded with some kind of closed door grand jury bullshit, right?
Right.
Polar Boy is naturally not too into it. In his jail cell, he has a picture of a pinup of another ice person from his planet Thar. She's basically wearing his old costume.
An ice maiden.
One thing that I noticed, or that I think we even talked about it when we were talking about issue 1, is that they were kind of setting up Polar Boy to be a more serious plot line, I think.
Yeah.
And once he gets hooked up with Matter Eater Lad in this one, he never has a real storyline ever again.
Yeah.
I don't think he even sticks around. Like, Matter Eater Lad is in it up until the very end. I don't know what happens to Polar Boy. I can't remember.
He gets married off. He gets I think forcibly married to one of that guy's.
No, that's. Oh, I know that Matter Eater Lad winds up getting married to Saturn Queen.
No. Like Evilo.
His daughters or something, right?
Yeah. He gets stuck with her.
I don't know. I think they didn't do right by Polar Boy. I think I
agree.
They had something in mind. Giffen did, and then it just never got around to it, I guess.
I think it's Levitz. I think this is a case where Levitz was in the right. I think he's the one who elevated him to being a more important character. He liked the idea of the underdog finally getting to join the team and eventually be the leader. And Giffen was not as interested. I think it's Levitz because most of that happened before Giffen came along. And then when Levitz comes back years later, he brings him back. And he's been kind of a more important player and a mainstay in the more recent versions of the team.
I mean, he has a good power. The ice power is something that every superhero team kind of has. Right. Kind of a solid superhero power.
Right.
And yeah, he is a good character just because he started out in the Bush Leagues and made it to the pros or whatever.
Right.
But I just think that they went to the effort to put him in issue 1 of this new series, as if they were going to use him. And then they just never happened.
Yeah, in a weird way. I don't know how deliberate it was, but they sort of doubled down on him being a joke character. Even all the other subs who got left behind get elevated to more, they're serious characters in this.
Right.
All of them except Night Girl, and she's already got a more legitimate serious role, albeit a girlfriend off panel mostly in the series. But she was kind of the first one to graduate from being a joke character because she was Cosmic Boy's lady.
Yes. Maybe Tom and Mary Bierbaum just had it in for Polar Boy and didn't like him and didn't want to bring him up, because the characters who showed up in issue 1, they're the ones we were going to see all the time. Not like when they do a TV series revival and they trot out some of the old timers from 30 years ago and they're on episode 1 and then you don't see them again. In Legion number 1, they avoided that. The people they put in it are the ones we're going to see, and they didn't put in anybody else. They didn't stick in whoever, Wildfire pops his head and he's like, hey, I hope you guys have a great time being Legionnaires again, and then disappear. They didn't do shit like that,
Well, I hate to say it, I still think this is Giffen's doing, because as soon as Giffen came back on issue 50, they start writing Polar Boy as a real asshole.
Huh.
He's like the guy who's like, no, Brainiac 5 is guilty. Yeah. And then he's quickly replaced by Censor Girl as leader. And I don't even know if he shows up after that.
Yeah, then I don't know why they teased us with his appearance in the first issue and the shit where he's having to disband the Legion and writing a letter to the president and stuff.
I don't know.
I wish, because I think he could be a good character, and I wish they had done more.
Well, I think we were talking about, in a way, would have made more sense if he had Rock's role, because he was more committed to the team than anyone else.
Right, yeah.
But obviously that's not going to sell as well or make as much sense as having one of the original members as the center.
I mean, it could have been an interesting conflict if both of those guys are on the team and there's some kind of conflict, between the way they want to do things or something. I don't know, just an idea. I think I also had the idea that, or one of us did that, like it's way later, like they do something with Sunboy where like those two guys are like the final two leaders of the Legion team or something like that. Yeah. During the 5 years, the missing 5 years.
Right.
And maybe they could have like shackled Sunboy and Polar Boy together in the way that they eventually wound up shackling Matter Eater Lad and Polar Boy together.
Yeah.
As like a Laurel and Hardy kind of thing.
Well, I think Levitt's, I don't know that he plays it for laughs entirely, but I see a lot when I look through the later Levitt's books. There's a lot of stuff like them arm wrestling and using their ice and fire against each other. Like they're kind of partners.
Yeah.
They're paired up together a lot in his later run.
It's kind of logical, or maybe it just comes from Giffen doing the fire and ice characters or something. I don't know.
Yeah, Marvel used to do a bunch of stuff with the Torch and Iceman like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Maybe these guys on this series thought that was just too obvious or something, or they just didn't want to use Polar Boy anymore.
Their loss.
Well, so now when Matter Eater Lad goes to meet the prosecutor, who he evidently is not supposed to be speaking to outside the courtroom, she's super cool.
Yeah, somehow they're not worried. No telepathic earplugs here. Maybe you should have just had Javon meet him here.
But he uses his smartphone to do it says a portable character analysis monitor. It's kind of like a Instagram filter or something. When he holds it up to her, it makes her look like a nun to show that she's a purity of her character.
Oh, mine is badly miscolored. I didn't see that at all until you pointed it out. Now I see it.
Yeah, like the white part is colored the same as her skin. The white part of the nun habit.
That line is so faint, I didn't even notice it. I just thought she had flat, dark hair.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to the line work in this comic on the Brasfield stuff. The Giffen stuff looks like usual. The Brasfield stuff, and it still has Al Gordon inking it, but just like so much of the lines are dropped out.
Yeah, because there's even like small text in there. It looks like it was Greeked in and not meant to be read, but it's broken up. Bad.
Yeah. All the fine line stuff is just shot to hell. But then this prosecutor lady also says she wants to have sex with Matter Eater Lad. I guess he's still got it. He's still hot.
She knows. She's heard his reputation for eating.
Yeah,
I can eat anything.
Heard you eat anything. I like their feet. Like this panel where she's kind of doing footsie with him. He's got some neat looking like Clark's what are those called? Like those booties.
Mm-hmm.
And she has like it's like pantyhose, but it looks thick like it's pants. Like Giffen draws these people in these kind of things all the time. Like they're skin tight, but I don't know, something about the feathering and shading makes this look like it's a 1/4 inch thick kind of material that's on your body.
Right.
And then her shoes are also piled up down here in the corner.
It's weird. It's like one of the raciest panels I've seen in a coded comic in a way. Like it's
where she's sticking her toes up his pant leg.
Maybe because it feels more real or more cinematic or something. It just seems more scandalous than having them walking around naked on Wynneth. Maybe it's like a more sophisticated, more mature kind of sexiness than
it's
the
definitely
14-year-old stuff.
Good way of depicting sexy, and it's actually one of the better drawn panels in the of the Brasfield stuff. It cuts to him like the next day after meeting this prosecutor. He's just conked out in his office asleep. Mm-hmm. The one joke that has stuck with me all these years is Calorie Queen brings him a pot of coffee to help him wake up. He tastes it and he's like, "Bleh, this tastes like yesterday's crankcase oil. Is it too much to ask for a fresh pot of crankcase oil?" I always thought that was a pretty funny joke. Like I think Tom Bierbaum's sense of humor is good at this kind of wordplay. Like he's good for that. Calorie Queen is a babe. Brasfield really draws her hot blonde.
Hubba hubba.
She doesn't have the insane like Alice Cooper eye makeup that she had back in Superboy 212. That would have been a good touch.
Mm-hmm. That page basically exists to inform us that he has like a horrible, notorious judge for this.
Oh, right. Yeah. It's like every episode of Law and Order where...
it's the guy who gives everyone the chair, the hard-ass judge.
Yeah, they're like, oh, if only we have the right judge, our case that's kind of weak may get through. But turns out we got the worst judge, the worst stickler by the book, son of a bitch.
Dick. Moby Dick of judges.
What's his name? Moby Dick Gunther.
So another Giffen page. This is the punchline to the Roxas Hospital one, I guess, because it's showing that Antenna Lad here is reporting that the medical staff was found dead, and then it serves to continue to recap the Roxas on the Loose storyline.
Yeah, this middle panel I thought was kind of funny. Like it's just like anytime you see the news interview just a regular person get their input on the story, and the guy's like, all I could think about was it could have been me.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel that way too. Anytime I hear about something awful happening, I'm like, man, I'm glad that wasn't me. But
you just try not to say it out loud.
Yeah, it's unseemly to say that on TV. And then we get kind of a guest appearance by this guy, the dude from Labyrinth, the prison comedy.
Showed up a few times in the Baxter days, I think.
Yeah, he has one eye, and it's usually on a long stalk coming out of his forehead.
So do you think it sort of retracts, or it's just the angle and then it was inked incorrectly?
Yeah, I assume that Al Gordon didn't know that it was supposed to be on a long stalk.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so we can just assume that he had just gotten out of like a cold shower or something. So he's kind of retracted. His name is Saquin or something like that, right?
Nutsack
Saquin. But he says, whoever engineered Roxas's release is crazier than Roxas himself. He never would have let it happen. I guess he was overruled or whatever. He's the warden, but somebody else went over his head to release Roxas.
Okay, then we have the new opening to Tenzel's new show, Tenzel for the Defense. At least on the opening, he's sort of where before he was sort of Indiana Jones. Here he's kind of a Dracula type.
Well, he's wearing some kind of like parliamentary robes or whatever, right?
Right, but the way he jumps in with his robes out, kind of like a cape.
Yeah, it's kind of
like... And then it zooms in on his teeth.
Well, see, this is the repeated panel from the first page, right? Where he bites the thing.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's exactly a replay of the previous opening, only with an evil judge instead of a mummy. And the woman who's found the lost code of Hammurabi in the library is this prosecutor character. I don't know what her name is. I forgot.
Is that her? Yeah, I guess it must be.
I think it's supposed to be her.
Mm-hmm.
Jacoby. But she has her like tie undone and blouse unbuttoned sexily in the library.
Right.
And then she must like take the ribbon out of her hair, and she's hanging on Tenzel just like the blonde was in the previous opening.
Right.
But he makes that, she says, I'm in a real pickle, and he's like, a pickle? You don't want to give me an appetite.
I got a pickle for you, baby.
Oh, shit. All right, so now it's the main event, the trial of Polar Boy. Polar Boy's been in jail for 2 long years for his crimes of, I guess...
Insurrection? Attempted insurrection?
Unlawful assembly or something.
So silly. Like you would go to jail for any of this. Insurrecting.
Anybody gets away with that.
At first, I thought they were being funny with the sort of antique dress. Do they still wear that kind of stuff in England?
I think they might.
They do on the TV shows, right? They wear the wigs, but the defense is also wearing a ruffly shirt, and you never can tell in a Giffen feature comic because they all wear ruffly shirts there anyway.
Yeah, this could be just casual clothes for these guys. But yeah, it's typical courtroom comedy bullshit where Tenzel gets gets reprimanded by the judge repeatedly for being ridiculous.
Yeah, it's got kind of a live with the studio audience feel, like the looks like it's his fans who've come to watch.
Yeah, there's a lady with a sign that says "We love Kim."
Mm-hmm.
There's a Muppet back there. I don't know about
yeah.
these other guys, if they're supposed to be recognizable characters or not.
So he's kind of doing his best Groucho Marx and saying absurd stuff to drive the judge nuts. We cut to Sunboy for a second. He gets a little cameo there.
I kind of liked this this cop character who's on the stand, who he's just sort of the stereotypical like meathead testosterone junkie guy.
Yeah.
Written pretty well. I don't know. They pull it off in 2 panels that you know exactly what this guy is.
Yeah. It's got a crazy hairline.
Yeah, he's a caveman.
His widow's peak is practically touching his eyebrows.
Oh, yeah. And there's Circe and the Dominators are also watching the show. Like, they don't have anything more important to do than to tune into this comedy show, I guess.
What do you call that? Like, it's like what Little Red Riding Hood wears. Is it the Dominator's wearing a scarf over its head like an old lady?
Yeah, it's got the hood, but it has the thing that goes around his neck too, kind of like it's like a cloak, I guess. But yeah, it looks a little more like Star Trek: The Next Generation than those guys usually do.
Let's see. He has he makes 3 different attempts to get Polar Boy off. Let's see. His first one was
the first one is the meathead cop.
Mm-hmm.
Who he's like, no, there's no way this guy was a threat. He was too much of a pipsqueak.
Right. It's kind of, it's pretty funny. It's like, no one would believe this incompetent idiot loser could possibly cause an insurrection. If anything, the government would want this guy to be in charge. They should let him go, because if he's in charge...
Isn't it true he's more of a threat to his own side, is what Denzel says.
It's pretty good. And
then his next try, earlier in the comic, Mad Reader Lad gave Polar Boy a souvenir Legion flight ring. He tells the judge it's actually a Green Lantern ring, and then throws a yellow pie in his face to show that that's what it really is, because he was... As a Green Lantern would be powerless to the color yellow.
There's kind of a little joke added in the editor's note about the impurity.
Yeah, the classic necessary impurity. Yeah, little comic book in joke. And then I guess the last thing is he puts him in this costume. It kind of looks like Evolvo Lad from the Heroes of Lalor.
Yes.
But he says it's the costume of
Braino.
Yeah.
Braino.
The noblest being of all time. And so the Mad Reader Lad is trying to establish Polar Boy's, insanity or something?
Right. That he's a nut. And this is where he finally gets him, because if he's competent, he's due a speedy trial. But the judge says they've been keeping him in jail for 2 years to confirm that he is not crazy. Is that right?
Something like that, yeah.
Thus denying him the speedy trial.
Right.
I don't know if it quite adds up, but the idea is maybe he sort of confuses the judge and everyone.
Yeah, he's got the judge in kind of a catch-22 where, like right now, you're saying that his sanity is not in question, but why was he in jail for 2 years if his sanity was not in question? You said that was why he was in jail. Back and forth doesn't compute.
Right.
So they dropped the case. This prosecutor, who is sympathetic to them, just drops the case because she wants to get into Mad Reader Lad's superhero costume.
Then they have to shag ass off the planet before the judge untangles the logic and realizes, before he goes and reapprehends Polar Boy, basically.
And this prosecutor later, Jacoby, she's there at the airport to meet Mad Reader Lad and give him a smooch and her number. And maybe she would have been a good match for down the road, but I don't think they ever show her again. And that's the end of the comic, huh?
No.
Well, I mean, that's the end of the Mad Reader Lad.
Wishful thinking.
She says, I think you did a super job. And Mad Reader Lad's like, all in a day's work when you're Tenzel for the defense. Dun, 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 dun.
So page 22, I think, is just basically an overview of what just happened.
It sure is. Yeah, it doesn't do anything to advance the story. What it is a Siskel and Ebert type of review of the Tenzel for the defense
Right.
courtroom TV show.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of felt like maybe it was the Bierbaums kind of making fun of the people who write letters to them complaining about the comic, the new Legion comic. Like kind of a veiled kind of satire of those type of clowns who,
right.
You know, there's the ones who hate it just because it's new, and then there's the ones who hate it because they're too stupid to understand it or something.
They're sort of covering their asses by beating the fans to the punch here.
Yeah.
And by sort of veiling it, anyone who's going to find problems with it, they can say, hey, it's just a badly made TV show.
Yeah, and it wasn't very funny. I guess it was.
Well, it probably wasn't written for near 50-year-olds.
I don't know.
Or maybe it was. About that. Maybe it was. It's a lot funnier when you're 14, that's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I had a good time with this one, but I don't know if I liked this even back then.
Oh, yeah. I skipped over those most of the time. I'd be like, I'll read that later. And
I might have done that too. But the two reviewers at the end, the one reviewer says, so to recap, I said Tenzel for the defense lacks credibility. It's sexist. The drama isn't dramatic. The comedy isn't funny. And the other reviewer disagreed, saying he believed the courtroom scenes, but felt that Kim could be putting the taxpayers' credits to better use than this. I feel like some letter writer actually said it in one of the published letters that the drama isn't dramatic, the comedy isn't funny.
Oh,
like I think that's verbatim a letter they published in issue 6 or something.
That's pretty good. They should have done more of this and had like the TV critics whine that the show isn't as good as it used to be. And
I mean, I think the idea that the other critics saying that like I was fine with the show itself, but I think that politician Tenzel Kim should not be dishonoring his occupation by being a dumb TV show because it's a waste of taxpayer money. I think that's sort of funny. It's not worth a whole page of text to get to it, right. But it's sort of a funny idea.
So then we have Jonah Ultra Boy being flung through time and hearing voices from different moments in Legion history. A lot of iconic, semi-iconic lines, I think especially from the Silver Age here. And a handful of them that I think show up later.
Yeah, like there's this one about ISIS. Here's one that's obviously some Dominator speaking. Didn't really recognize any of them.
Really? I thought there was some Furolad ones in here.
There's one that says he's going to kill Mr. Brand. Maybe that's from the Legion origin.
Yeah. He did it. He saved the galaxy at what cost? I think that's Furolad.
Yeah, like these biggest ones are sort of they're Ultra Boy events. Like that's why they call it Invulnerability Pile. Must be from issue 2 of this series. We have the rest of our lives to spend together. That's maybe a conversation between Ultra Boy and Phantom Girl or something. Yeah, so they're showing us how Ultra Boy is going back in time. Mm-hmm. There's kind of a cool explosion where it's white hot in these top 3 panels.
Yeah, I don't know if it read that way to me. I just thought it was a white sky.
Oh.
But yeah.
Yeah, I kind of thought he was appearing like Terminator style. And it looks like he's in like Joshua Tree National Park or something. They show a road sign in English that says he's on the Kundia planet, but there's a signature on the sign signed by the Dominion.
Looking like a 50s postcard.
Yeah, or like a sign for like a housing development or something.
Mm-hmm.
The Dominion, your partner in prosperity.
He looks kind of like Popeye in this page.
Oh, with his eye closed?
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the beginning of an Ultra Boy subplot. Exciting Ultra Boy adventure.
Yay. Which may or may not be good, but the next story we read, I think, should be. And it is all about Ultra Boy.
It's a big one.
I think the first 2 or 3 annuals are pretty good. Because then there's the next one, I think, is the Valor one. I remember the artwork at least being pretty good. The artwork in both of those.
I think is it Brandon Peterson on both of them, maybe?
No. It's whoever does the Ultra Boy one, it seems pretty unconventional. It looks almost like it's not a typical superhero artist guy drawing it.
Huh. I haven't looked at it in a long time. The credits on this one say Tom and Mary Bierbaum, Tenzel script, And then the Legion story assistants. So I guess the stuff that Giffen drew is the Legion story they're talking about. And then it says Keith Giffen, Legion story and pencils. It almost seems like Giffen did the script on the Legion part, but I'm not sure. Probably not. But this kind of leads me to that. But it also makes me think that Giffen didn't work on the Tenzel and Craig Brasfield segments of this, which is weird because Giffen is the humor comics guy.
Right.
So I guess he was just checked out. He was busy. I mean, maybe I don't know what else he was doing the month this came out. We should have looked that up maybe. Like maybe he's swamped doing like some kind of crossover between like JLE and JLA or something and just couldn't get around to it. Like he's drawn a bunch of Global Guardians pages or something at the same time. And
yeah, there's this weird inconsistency to his prolificness. Like he'll do an impossible amount for several months in a row, and then all of a sudden just one.
Yeah,
almost like he burns himself out or something.
Yeah, I gotta look this up. It was around the time he died. Something Eric Larson said about him. Oh, okay. So this is on the Comics Journal Giffen tribute thing. Okay. Eric Larson, he talks a little bit about hiring to do Super Patriot and Freak Force. Oh, yeah. He says, I had an inkling of Keith's reputation going into it. I had heard stories of Keith beating himself up and claiming he'd been mugged and that he had had his portfolio stolen. I had heard that he repeated the performance with the Marvel editor the following week after he did it at DC. Keith would make excuses, and I knew he was bullshitting, and I think he knew that I knew that he was bullshitting. At one point, Keith was supposed to write a Freak Force annual, and he was telling me all about how densely it was plotted and how the only splash page was on page 1. When I got the job some weeks later, it was loaded with splash pages. Working with Giffen meant laying out an occasional page because he fell short, or even an entire issue to keep a penciler busy. What he delivered was unquestionably brilliant, but it came along with stories of the FedEx guy skipping his house and his fax machine going on the fritz and Keith missing the top step and taking a tumble down a flight of stairs. So it sounds like he would do that. Like he could do 6 comics in a month, but then like when he couldn't do it, he would bullshit you about it.
Fuck Eric Larson. He's such a fucking asshole. I mean, this is like the dude just died. Yeah, he was lied a lot. He was giving me bullshit excuses. Oh, but he was brilliant.
Uh-huh. No, he says other nice stuff. That's not all he says. But he also, it sounds like he didn't really know him. He says he was a talented motherfucker. And I would say, despite having only met him in passing a few times, a good friend. I don't know. I tend to believe him. But yeah, he sounds like he has no bedside manner. I like the cover. A good cover on this one. I like the way Giffen draws Calorie Queen here. Big hair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
And I like he has his little entourage is kind of neat. They never really appear in the comic, though.
Maybe in the background somewhere.
Is it issue 10 where the last page shows Matter Eater Lad and all the Venturan walking money or whatever, the little coins with legs? Is that the previous issue to this?
I think so.
That was sort of it. I kind of like that page. Kind of led my imagination into a different direction from what they wound up doing with Matter Eater Lad. And even this cover maybe was drawn without having read the Craig Brasfield stuff or the actual, seems like the script that they put in this issue maybe.
Does he wear glasses ever in the issue? It looks like he does.
Yeah, he might.
They show him taking a pair of glasses off anyway. Oh, yeah. It's maybe one panel.
Oh, yeah, there he is.
Panels. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's exactly the style that he winds up having. Mm-hmm. It's like Stuart Immonen decided that was a good look for him and just stuck with it. Because I don't think Giffen really drew him like that. Like when in the next Matter Eater Lad spotlight, he's in his regular like old-fashioned Legion uniform, no glasses, no trench coat or whatever.
I feel like that caught on before Immonen came, but almost like Giffen did it for the cover to suggest they're on vacation or something like that. But that image stuck with people.
Yeah, I mean, this cover like implies a completely different tone to me, and completely different story, I guess.
Yeah.
And it seems to me a little bit more connected with that stuff from the last issue.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's just sort of a lead into kind of the quirky send up type of character that they're going to turn Matter Eater Lad into. But
yeah,
they went in a different direction than Giffen set them up for visually. Anyway,
I mean, I like him as a silly character. I think, especially in this book where it gets pretty dour, it's good to have a guy like that for funny breaks.
Like kind of the setup here where he's in this situation that he doesn't want and he wants to get out of it. And he goes to kind of absurd lengths to escape being a senator.
Uh-huh.
Like, I think that's sort of a good idea. But like, if once they get into parts where, like they did this with Plastic Man, where everything he says is supposed to be a wisecrack to make us laugh, and he's always making fun of Superman, or he's always doing this or that, and it's just like too much unfunny comedy business. Like, you blew it, you know?
Right.
And I don't know. I don't want to see that happen with Matter Eater Lad.
You know, I think I see him more like this is right out of, they're just barely out of the 80s. And I feel like he's sort of the funny con man.
Oh, yeah.
Like kind of like Val Kilmer in Real Genius, or like Ferris Bueller.
Yeah. Or like, Beverly Hills Cop or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of a good angle. But I think the instinct, the impulse of a lot of superhero comic book writers and ideators, whoever comes up with this shit, they want to make these guys into like fucking Ace Ventura, you know? They think that's what Ambush Bug and Matter Eater Lad and Plastic Man are.
Right.
Just like constant, relentless.
Definitely. That's definitely the case with Plastic Man. I know there was talk for a while they wanted to get him to play Plastic Man.
Yeah.
Like I can totally see them, like the way he's written in the Morrison JLA. But does Matter Eater Lad really ever go that far? Plastic Man, sure.
I think he kind of does. I don't know. Like, I think they want him to be that way sometimes. I think they're pushing up against it as time goes on. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm misremembering.
At some point, they tried to turn him into like a badass. There's that page I always see being reposted everywhere where he like bites some guy's finger off.
I don't remember that.
He's still got the sunglasses, but it's more like Terminator or Crazy Guy. Some bad guy or something is pointing at him or something, and he chomps his finger off.
Oh, that's kind of funny. That sounds funny.
Sounds funny?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they do that with Matter Eater Lad, I guess. I just kind of feel like that I'm anticipating that happening with him because that's what happened to those other guys in the 90s. And
I guess I feel like funny works for him, though, because it's a different kind of funny, I suppose, if he is totally serious. If he's totally serious with this dumb power, he's just a joke. It seems more like he owns it in a way if he is a somewhat comedic character. I'm not saying he needs to be like funny like Spider-Man, I guess. Like a guy who doesn't take himself too seriously. Though, like I said, there's something funny about somebody who, as silly as he is, taking himself seriously, I guess. There's a lot of characters like that in the Giffen Justice League books. Inherently silly characters who are desperate to be taken seriously. You know, there's a lot of untapped. You could probably do anything you wanted to with the guy. Like if they did want to, like, just every time he shows up, it turns into a fucking Looney Tune. Not that I want to see that, but they could get away with it because it almost seems like they had to meet that goddamn miracle machine. And you think that's going to have, that has to pay off some way eventually. And
I'm hoping for the best. That was Legion of Superheroes number 11. Still waiting for this comic to get good again.
Any minute.